So happy 4th everyone, and welcome to me talking about Guilty Gear Dust Strikers. Guilty Gear Dust Strikers is, oh man. Look, Guilty Gear has a ton of weird games. Not even a ton, that's an exaggeration, but it has a few weird games. And Dust Strikers is by far the weirdest, and like even weirder than the Pachinko game. Even weirder than Guilty Gear Tangent, which is a thing. Even weirder than like Petit. And the problem about Dust Strikers is, one, the game does not work well enough. The game is practically broken in a way. It is essentially just a party version of Guilty Gear Isuka. And Guilty Gear Isuka was already a game that was kinda divisive among people in the first place, but at least the game functioned, in a sense. Dust Strikers does not function. Like, I have tried like several times to play this game. I have tried several times to at least see the goodness in this game. But you know, there are some people who said they liked the game, and I you know, that's good for them. But this game actually is just not very good. Like first of all, it's a party version of Guilty Gear, and that sounds like a cool idea. You know, you got all your favorite characters. They have about 21 characters to goof around with. They each have their own quote-unquote story paths, even though it's not really much of a story. And there's also Robokai, who has no story, but you can find parts in the game to build your own Robokai, which is really cool. That's a cool idea. You know, basically create your own fighter in a way, just out of Robokai. And the game itself is not very enjoyable to play. Essentially, you have your two screens, your bottom screen, your top screen, because you know, it's the DS. Funny enough, Dust Strikers, you know, break down the anagrams of DS. I see what they did there. But with Dust Strikers, it's just the fundamentals of the game just don't work. You know, basically when you start a match, you gotta beat your opponent and grab certain power-ups, you know, to get yourself an edge of your, pretty much an edge over the other characters. You know, that sounds like your typical, you know, party game. You know, you gotta try to get these items and beat your opponents before they get the items and try to beat you with them. Simple as that. Problem is, first of all, the game just has like really bad delay. I don't know if it's just me playing the game, but the game has really bad delay. Like I will push in the button about but not even too long after, like a little bit after, then the character will start moving and jumping. And then sometimes the character will jump too high or jump too far. And either that they won't have enough height, and it's like inconsistent what it is, and the game is overall just confusing to play. And you know, with the character sprites being like slimmed down to fit the DS, both screens, you know, it's kind of hard to keep track of everything, especially with all the characters all at once. It's chaotic, and not in a good way, kind of chaotic. And then trying to play just one, and then it gets to a point where some of the characters become just way too hard. Like, you can play on, like, really simple difficulty, and the characters just, like, jump up in difficulty, because the game isn't balanced. The game isn't balanced. Even some of the characters aren't balanced enough to fit this whole party style. Like, characters like Soul just don't work with his straightforward style of play. You know, trying to use Gunflame on any kind of character in this kind of party situation just doesn't work. Even then, like, I try to play other characters, like, so it's like Bridget. I feel like the only character that really worked for me was Kai, and I didn't even like play him all that much because he just didn't feel right in this game. He's like this game was not meant for the Guilty Gear characters because they play like they do in their home game, though they had to be dumbed down to kind of fit this style of play. But it just doesn't work, you know? It's not really straightforward. You kind of don't know how to get everything. Everything's just all over the place. And the sprite work is another thing I just don't like. I understand they have to fit the game because they have to be so small, but I think like the sprites being so small is kind of a detriment to the game itself, because sometimes it's hard to keep track of what's going on. Like, it's like the game is seriously panned out, and it's kind of gross, especially when it's hard enough to fit on two screens. Now, fitting it on one screen would probably been even worse because you got like less room to work around with, but with two screens and the sprites being as small as they are, the game just doesn't work right. And I don't know, man. I don't know how to even explain it well enough, but it's just, the sprite work isn't bad to the point where it's unrecognizable, but it's like super small. It reminds me of Guilty Gear X Advanced Edition, where like the sprite work could have been done better, but they're just incredibly shrunk. I'm just convinced that the sprite work from that game is using this one, even though that's a lie. But yeah, and what makes me sad is like the game is like it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and some of the characters are too busted in this game. You can't even really go far without getting, you know, just murked, you know, absolutely just killed, and just it's not fun anymore. First of all, some of these matches just take way too long because the objective is to just knock out all your opponents, but they take so little hits, and even with the power-ups you gain, you don't get to do enough damage, and you have to take all of them out before they take you out, and it sucks because it's just like not like a team kind of thing. I mean, it can be, I guess, with you know, versus matches, but I haven't played versus matches with this game because, first of all, who the hell has a copy of Guilty Gear Dust Strikers in this day and age? Second of all, why would I play this game with someone else? But yeah, it's just not. It's not fun to play this game, and you know, if you don't have fun playing a game, then why even bother playing it at that point? Really, like a game's supposed to be fun, so like, eh. But anyway, like, the sprites don't look bad. That's one thing I want to talk about again. I'm sorry, I keep going back to the sprites, but they don't look bad. It's just like the fact that they're shrunk down so much kind of just makes everything weird, and everything's like jumbled up, and it's like ugh. Even when trying to make an attack against another character, some of those attacks don't even connect because they kind of pile up on each other. Let's say I put two souls in front of each other. Like if I had a goodness gracious ability to put two souls in front of each other, and have one of them use have both of them use gun flame at one another. Like they probably won't even connect with one another, despite them being like close up on each other. And yeah, and then the problem about Dust Strikers is that like some of your attacks really won't, you know, do anything. You can't make combos on this game, obviously, so you're stuck just doing single hit attacks. And some of the moves are very cheap. And the game, as I said before, the game is incredibly unbalanced, because some of the attacks are just incredibly stronger than others. Like Soul's Gunflame is probably like one of the worst attacks because you can't really make a good hit on the opponent. You have to kind of like wait until they jump in front of you in order to make a good hit with Gunflame or something like that. And I don't know, and constantly having to keep track of both screens with characters on the bottom and characters on the top. And it gets chaotic when some characters want to stick at the bottom, then you go to the bottom, then they want to jump to the top, and you have to go back to the top. Like the characters wouldn't know where you're going. Like, oh, let's say someone, Bridget. Oh, I'm on top of the stage. Okay, you go after the stage, you go after Bridget. Oh, Bridget wants to say, oh, well, I'm just going back down to this bottom of the stage, and you have to go chase after him to the bottom of the stage. Like, that could happen. That's obviously going to happen in a party game like that. But it's like the AI knows when you're trying to chase after them, and they just immediately go back down. And also, manual turning is like, you know, I don't like manual turning anyway. That's what probably will have Guilty Gear Isuka, and I get it. These games are supposed to be like a party games, but manual turning in Guilty Gear is not fun. I don't give a shit. I don't give a crap if this is a party game or not. I understand manual turning needs to be a thing, but manual turning is not like it takes like, it's like I had to press the controller button like the left or right button really hard in order to just turn. I don't know why. Sometimes the directional turn just doesn't work either. And you know, and then you gotta constantly like try to chase out the other characters because you have 4 characters on the screen at a time, and you gotta chase after, like, oh man, what I do? I gotta chase after this, like chase after one character, chase after the other. Like, I feel like an example of this game would be like Brawl, or like not Brawl. Sorry, I keep alluding Smash Bros. To Brawl, or like something like Smash Brothers. You know, the game you're in, like you're not in like some kind of ladder. You know, like let's say like the Battlefield stage or something like that. You know, you can obviously keep a track of your 4 characters. You know, you're really quick on the dime. You're able to take them all out. You're in a concealed space where you're able to fight back your characters. It's easy, but this game feels like a stage like 75M from Smash Brothers, where you gotta like constantly climb up and chase after everyone else, and it's like it's chaotic, too chaotic, and don't even get me started on the opponents who can attack you, because they just know where you are and just wreck you easily. And I just don't know. On top of like just outside the battle stuff, like outside of the battle stuff, you got silly mini games that really don't do much. They try to take advantage of the 2 screens. And the minigames are literally not fun. I think the one minigame I found fun was Venom's Billiards. Even then, it wasn't. These minigames don't function well. Like even like for garbage minigames for the NES function, like those shovelware games, this just does not work. It's not even like good as any of those. Like some of those show work games are like terrible, but like, I don't know, man. These mini games don't work either, and I just don't like just playing the game. Like even when you try to max out the difficulty, like you try to get on higher difficulty settings, you know, the enemies are either too hard or way too easy. You know, because the more difficulty you just max out, the more difficulty you put on, the higher the character's health goes up. Which I already explained before, that the character's health is just way too high, and on top of it, you always have 4 characters to keep a track of. Now, when you start the game, you don't start with that much crap. You don't start with that many characters on the screen at once, but then, it starts to gain more and more as you go climb the ladder. But it just gets to the point where like 4 characters on the screen, it just stops being fun because they get so much health. Like I feel like as you go up, the characters just get more health, and then your attacks do so little damage. And if God help you, if you pick a character who already does low hits enough in the first place, like someone like I don't know, someone like Bridget or something. I mean, Bridget does not do a lot of damage. They play like more. Bridget plays more like a keep away kind of game, and traps and whatnot. And the problem about Bridget, trying to play Bridget, is like because he does so little damage, you can't really do much to these characters, but they can do a lot to you, especially with the power-ups. Now, you can't get power-ups. Power-ups don't really change much, though, not gonna lie. And I just don't know, man. Like, all the game modes kind of, like, they all suck. Every mode of this game sucks. Like, just, they don't just work, right? And, like, you can get, like, about, like, a few minutes of some kind of enjoyment out of this game before just immediately turning off. And the one thing I do like about it is like you can build parts for Robokai. As I said before, you can build your own custom fighter out of Robokai, and that's fun. That's really cool. But the problem is you gotta like get high scores on the mini games to unlock the moves in order to even get Robokai. And as I said before, the mini games kind of suck. The minigames are pretty easy to get by. You can pretty much complete all of them within a few minutes. But it's just the act of playing them kind of like, eh. But yeah, that's my whole thing about Dust Strikers. I went on this way too long. Dust Strikers not fun. It's not fun, man. Dust Strikers is not fun, and I feel like, for me personally, it's not enjoyable. But I mean, whoever enjoys Dust Strikers, knock yourselves out. But I couldn't, like, this is like by far the worst. One of the worst Guilty Gear games. Like, if not, like, I could enjoy Petit. Even if it wasn't the best, I could enjoy the X Advanced Edition, even if it wasn't the best. I could enjoy Guilty Gear 2, despite how many people rip on that game. Guilty Gear 2 has nothing on this, man. Like, there is no game out there that have nothing on Dust Strikers. Believe me that, man. Like, oh man, like I'll have to play a terrible Guilty Gear game to understand how something can be as bad as Dust Strikers, though.